Prefer when I'm by myself. I don't wanna hang around y'all. Pray for good health.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Combat Sports Weekly. And with me today are the Titos of Fighting. We got JC Reyes, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, JC?
What's up? What's up, everyone?
Very good week for Combat Sports. We have a show that's very, very special for everyone, especially the local MMA scene. We're going to give you updates of what happened here and abroad. And then let us know what you think in the comment section. Lahat ng insights nyo, everything that you want to discuss, everything that you want to talk about. We are live here on Facebook. So please follow the page, Coach Franco Rolyoda. We are also live on YouTube. Just look for my name, Franco Rolyoda. Subscribe to that channel and like this video. We would appreciate all those little emojis, all those cute little things. So, kailangan din namin yung comment section kasi baka maya-maya mawala yung audio namin. At least sabihin nyo na nawawala yung audio, hindi malinaw, pangit, di ba? Yan, nawawala si JC, nawawala ako. So, we're going to talk about, there are so many things that happened. And then, update din natin all the good things that's really, really good, especially in the local boxing scene. Di ba?
Bumabalik na talaga.
Combati, and then Jerry Pence Promotions did, saan ba yung Combati? Cebu ba to? Cebu, di ba? Combati under Omega Promotions, Omega Sports Promotions, and then Jerry Peñalosa, Jerry Pence Promotions did something in General Santos. So, nalaman namin yan kasi our very good friend, Christian Pitlaurente, won via 5th round TKO. Yun, TKO. So, it was a pretty good performance, much improved skill set. One thing that's really, really good about Christian Pitlaurente is he's speaking at the right time. Of course, proper tutelage. He was a really good coach under Coach Titing. He has good, parang yung default training partners niya, sila Russo.
Yes.
Diba? So you look at Pit Laurente, follow him all over social media. He's also there. He's building his brand. One thing that's really good is nasa province sila, wala masyadong distraction. He's training with Mother Nature. Paglabas niya ng kwarto niya, it's the gym. So, ikaw, JC, of all the boxers that you've encountered, di ba? Ano yung mga ganitong tao, iba exceptional yung skill sets nila, di ba? Mas mabilis na naging
yung mga tipo ni Pitt. Actually, maganda yung naging transition niya from the Philippine national boxing team to the pros. Kasi kadalasan, pag galing ka sa amateurs tapos magpo-pro ka, biglang bumabagsak yung trajectory mo kasi di mo na alam kung saan pupunta. Kaya lang yung mga tulad ni Pitt, who have the proper guidance, siyempre, imbes na gumanon, binago niya. He's on his way up, most likely. After a few more fights, maghahanap na ng kahit Asian title fight yan si Pitt, and then all the way to the World Championships.
So maganda yung training, maganda yung performance. And there are a lot of really notable camps sa provinces, and medyo medyo umangat sila because of the restrictions. Kasi syempre sila, they could mobilize, they have really good training grounds. Diba sa probinsya, kailangan mo road work, takbo ka lang doon, diba? So, diba, our audience,
madali talaga para
the live feed nung laban niya, he has improved his jab, more calculative straights, pretty good combinations. The footwork is there. Hindi ko lang din alam minsan he's just really at that level na angat siya dun sa mga kalaban niya. So tama si JC. There's probably like a regional title. Ano ba yung mga regional titles natin? Like OBPF, yung mga ganon.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Yung mga gab na titles, yan.
Yeah, di ba? Kasi The thing about professional boxing is the thing about professional boxing is you have to improve your rating, you have to improve your ranking. Parang kailangan you have X amount of fights muna in 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds, 10 rounds, and then you go up to 12 rounds. And then by that time, saka ka palang bibigyan ng clearance to either go for title shots or even fight abroad.
Mhm.
So this is a really good opportunity for him.
Mhm.
Undefeated TKO win so far. Any news from the Kumbati?
Ah, ibang,
Yung naman
let's
natin
see.
kasi with Kumbati, ang maganda naman kay Kumbati, grabe rin naman yung
Oo,
production nila
ano eh,
value. Ang galing,
ginastusan
nakakatuwa.
talaga nila eh.
I mean, the best part, one of the huge upsides of watching a Combati event is their ability to provide value not just to the audience
Yes.
but to the fighters, the coaches. Ang ganda ng production. I saw
Mhm.
I saw the what do you call this? Yung feed din nila on Facebook. Ang ganda ng production. Grabe, nakakatuwa. So I'm
Alam
like,
mo yung
okay, maganda yung
hindi
feel.
hindi pong production na, yeah, yung hindi minadali.
Hindi
Ganun yung
na madali.
production nila.
Ayun so for everyone who's going to
Mhm.
even look at something I mean, maghahanap ng mali, okay, they all got tested, they all observe health protocols, wag na
Mhm.
muna tayo magsiraan ngayon, okay? Gumaganda yung
Mhm.
combat sports scene, di ba? People are holding events,
Yeah.
everyone's coming together, don't mess it up, okay? Don't be a
Maganda
negatron, di ba?
yung,
Wag kayong maging mga marites dyan dahil kung hindi, upakan namin kayo. So another one is there's one that was held, yung Johnny Elorde na na event,
oh yeah,
'di
yeah.
ba? 'Di ba?
Paranaque.
Paranaque siya, 'di ba? And speaking of bringing the community together, looking out for what's best in the community, may special guest po tayo, okay? Bigla siya sabi, "Oy, gusto ko maging part ng show." Sabi namin, "Aba, syempre. Why not?"
Oh.
'Di ba? Ladies and gentlemen, the father of MMA, the very first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and now still making strides in towards the improvement of the entire MMA scene in the Philippines and the Asia Pacific region. We got Alvin Aguilar, ladies and gentlemen. Chief, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having
What's
me over.
up?
Ayan. Chief, we're gonna put you on the spot. Medyo, magre-recap lang kami ng dalawang, para sa amin kasi, noticeable fights lang ang dapat na nire-recap eh. So, first off is the Marvin Vittori versus Paulo Costa fight. Chief, what are your thoughts on, I mean, these two fighters just kept missing weight. Diba, as a tournament
Lalo na
promoter,
si,
as an organizer, as a promoter,
mm,
as someone who values professionalism and keeps everyone in check. How is this? Like, how do you see this event planning out? I mean, for example, us working in the URCC, we've tackled issues like this, pero everyone pulled through. But for this one, there are so many things that happened. Like, share us your thoughts on what happened with that.
Well, of course, like if you're missing weight, diba, and you're at that level, grabe naman yan. I mean, you're number one, your handlers. You have the wrong handlers. You must have the wrong handlers, or actually, even if it's not the handlers, you have to take it upon yourself. You're at that level. You're at the highest level of MMA, and you still miss weight. Actually, that was pretty embarrassing. Also, when a Filipino missed the the most pounds off. Talaga he was really off years ago, diba? That was so
Uh,
embarrassing. I mean, you have to take it upon yourself. Disciplina mo yun. It just why how these things happen. I don't know. Maybe they take things for granted. I mean, what were you thinking? You're at that level, mag-weigh-in ka pa, di ka ba nila nahiya? Diba? I mean,
dapat si Paulo Costa, ibahin na natin yung nickname eh. Paulo the Excuses Costa na siya eh. Di ba?
yeah.
Ang dami eh. Di ba? And then,
you
but,
know he's very talented. He has what it takes. Kaya lang he always has an excuse. And if you
Yeah.
always have an excuse, you won't get anywhere.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Now, leading to that fight, I mean, it was really good dahil maganda rin naman yung performance nung I mean, it was a 5-round fight. They fought
Mm.
really well. Vittori won via decision, but again, it proves to show that there are fighters who will get away with this. Yun yung problema eh. A lot of
Yeah,
people
yun
are
nga eh.
are stating this eh. And if you guys remember, diba, there's the Anthony Johnson fiasco when he was trying to make weight at
Yeah,
170.
isa pa yan.
Diba? He was practically dying. He was practically dying. So for this to happen, medyo weird eh. Ikaw, JC, what are your thoughts on that fight?
Uh, Actually, ang daming nangyari going into that fight yung kay Costa and Vettori kasi it was originally scheduled for a middleweight fight. Sabi ni Costa, 1 week before the fight, sabi niya, I can't make 185, do it at 195. Ilang araw na lang. Hindi ko pa rin kaya yung 195. Let's do it at 205. Anong klaseng work ethic meron ka? You're a fighter who can't make weight, diba? And ang malala pa, he doesn't want to accept the fact na dapat siyang bawasan ng pay because of missing weight, which is usually what's stipulated on the contract.
Tapos ano tawag dito, another notable fight, medyo nostalgic to. Fedor Emelianenko knocks out Tim Johnson in less than a minute and Bellator's inaugural event in Moscow, Russia. Tama ba to, JC? Moscow, Russia ba to? Talaga?
Let me check. I think so.
Pero Chief, ikaw, like you're a Fedor fan for sure. How was it?
I mean, he looked exactly like the Fedor of old. You know, that was really beautiful. At saka he wasn't fighting any slouch. You know, it was really bad when he fought Pedro Hizo kasi wala na talaga si Pedro Hizo. He's more of teaching now. He has, you know, other things in his life. When they said that was going to be one of his retirement fights, at least they gave him someone who's really, really good, could have had a legit chance at beating him. Bigger, stronger, you know. Pero ang galing, you know, it's just like the vintage Fedor. I loved every part of it. Nakailang rewind.
Pero yeah, I'd like to pick your brain on this one, Chief. Do you agree that he came in too late when he was marketed sa US? Like he was Eastern Europe, diba? Then there was Japan. Medyo late na ba talaga siya coming into the US when he fought sila Arlovsky, when he fought in Strikeforce, now in Bellator?
No, I actually he did the right thing because his name was more marketable outside the UFC. And then the UFC wasn't going to pay him what he wanted that time. Because he was already making the money, diba? And then, you know, if you go to the UFC, you might risk something because all the badasses were there at that time. So it was a good move also on his part. I mean, why risk it just for, you know, and to take a smaller pay cut?
Okay, that makes sense. Ikaw, JC, napanood mo ba yan? Medyo timber eh. So it was body shot, good weave, 2 hooks. After the third hook, wala na talaga, tulog na eh. Ang ganda eh.
Amazing Fedor fanboy moment yun eh. Nung
Ang laki ng Tim Johnson. Sabi ko, ang laki pala na itong kalaban niya. Sabi ko, hindi pala biro to eh. There's another one eh. There's another ultra heavyweight, super heavyweight fight. Parang KSW. Dalawang mamaw lang talaga eh. Pero hindi ko na... parang saglit din yun eh. Less than a minute yun eh. Parang afterwards, they go like, wow, okay, tulog na tong dalawan to. Sige, saglit lang pala. So, balik uli ako doon sa Fedor na balik ako doon sa Fedor na replay. I mean, it was really good. It was really, really good watching. Ano siya? Tawag dito? Good farewell bout. At least, medyo 45 years old, guys. 45 years old. Let us know in the comment section, what was your Fedor moment, okay? How did you find out about Fedor? Kasi this was a time wherein, si Chief kukwento niya saan about Fedor. So kami ngayon maghanap kami ng CD sa Squadron o kaya dun sa K1 sa Green Hills. Ayan, sabi namin, sino ba tong Fedor na to? So speaking of MMA, we're gonna shift everything back now. Local scene. Something beautiful is happening. This was under wraps, and I think this was a good use of pandemic time. Chief Alvin Aguilar here went on and coordinated with the IMMAF or the International MMA Federation, and then he created the structure wherein he wanted to uplift the MMA scene here in the Philippines. So afterwards, the brainchild is this now, the PMAF, or the Philippine MMA Federation. Chief, I don't want to, I don't want to discuss the detail. I want you to tell the story behind this. So,
Okay.
how did everything come about?
All right. So basically, IMMAF is the International Mixed Martial Arts Federation. Their goal is to bring MMA to the Olympics. Now, of course, as you notice, all of the traditional sports tried to keep them away because the stigma of MMA. But they've done it. They're around. They're in more than 50 countries now. There's so many people involved, and they've streamlined the rules and grabbing support nila from instructions to the app, to the support, to the coaching programs. They've done everything for MMA. Now, I noticed here in the Philippines, a lot of the things, but one of the things I noticed was bumababa yung level natin sa MMA. And then people would say, why is it that when they get to the big leagues, they always lose? Okay? Now, it's because parang basketball lang yan eh. Una sa barangay, then you play in your high school, then you play in your college, then you play in the PBL, then you play in the PBA. Baliktad naman dito. You do one amateur fight, gusto mo na mag-pro, gusto mo na pabayad, fights, tapos tatalon ka, and then you go to the big leagues, wala, ubos ka talaga. So, we have to have a program, the grassroots, that redevelops you properly. Now, kailangan hasang-hasa ka. Even our amateur scene sa boxing, a lot of the people in the Philippine team, they've had, 50, 60 fights, That's how it is to become better. Hindi pwede yung 1 or 2 fights tapos yun. And then, of course, pag nagpa-pro na, nag-iiwas ng kalaban kasi baka masira yung win-loss card and everything. So, we had to make sure that the amateur thing has to be really, really developed.
Sorry, Chief, natawa ako kasi nangyayari talaga. Yun, totoo yan, ha? Totoo yan.
Padded ng records,
Okay, so please, we're talking about a very important topic here. So for those watching and listening, ayan, please share this video. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to discuss a lot. This is going to be a no holds barred discussion. Put your comments in this, put your questions, your suggestions in the comment section. Let's take advantage of the time na nandito si Alvin so that we can discuss this. Let's get everything out. Let's get the air out. Medyo mag-aano kami dito. We're gonna open everything up so that you guys, if you have any questions. Now, Chief, speaking of protecting the records and I want to we'll get to that. I just want to circle back na saglit na this has been your observation, like so we're going medyo personal conversations namin to ni Chief during training na parang you see the development of the Philippine MMA scene and you see so many things lacking. Now, when it comes to that, a lot of it is either hindi na to abundance or availability of information. There's so much information. Now we're talking about instructorship, coaching, diba? Proper utilization or getting the message across. So sa tingin mo, like, anong kailangan mangyari? Anong kailangan mangyari for the coaching to level up? Kasi ako, disclaimer, hindi dahil kaibigan ko si Alves at coach ko siya, ako sinasabi ko, iilan lang sa Pilipinas ang kaya mag-coach ng MMA. Coaching in MMA is a totally different animal. It's a totally different, sobrang layo siya. It's not just holding pads. It's not just barking instructions. So, coming from you, Chief, like, how do you see MMA coaching as a whole when it comes to especially developing talent?
Okay. One of the primary problems we have in the country is yung isang MMA coach, let's say in one club, whatever. Most clubs only have one MMA coach. Siya nagtuturo ng boxing, wrestling, grappling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, lahat. Alam niya. So that's impossible, di ba? You have to get specialized people in these arts. It can't be one person teaching everything. Now, sasabihin naman nila, paano yun? Because the economic problem comes in. Kung papaturo ko sa iba, di mawawalan ako ng kita, mawawalan ako ng estudyante, mawawalan ako ng ganyan. So, it's a matter of organizing yourself or organizing a team. Let's say, for example, you are the boxer, you are the grappler, you are the wrestler, and then you put things together. Ang nangyayari kasi sa atin is dating boksingero, dating nagkakarate, dating yaw-yan, dating whatever. Tapos mamaya, nag-YouTube. Okay, marunong na ako ng wrestling. Okay, nag-YouTube, marunong na ako ng jiu-jitsu. Then kawawa yung bata mo because when your fighter fights against someone na talagang nag-train ng wrestling, na talagang jiu-jitsu, gulpi siya. Tapos sabihin mo lang sa bata mo, hindi, swerte lang siya kasi ito nangyari, it's always like that. So we have to be able to open everyone's eyes. Now, at first, maybe may mawawalan ng kita, but if you have something to offer, then you have nothing to worry about. Now, as a coach, you should never stop learning. To this day, I'm not nagbubot ng bangko or whatever, but I'm always learning. I never stop studying. I never stop training because there's always something new every week, every month. Na porque I have a black belt and all that doesn't mean anything. What matters is what I'm going to do tomorrow. So, to prepare for tomorrow, I have to be prepared. I have to study. I have to go over my notes, go over my teachings and everything else. And coaches don't do that. I see him, alam ko na yan, dinaanan ko na yan. Lumaban na ako dati, syempre, alam ko na yan. Cannot be like that. Hindi pwede yan. Kung ganyan ang pag-iisip natin, hanggang dito ka na lang, di ba? Pang barangay MMA ka na lang, di ba? Rinky-dink stuff. If you want your fighter to be really, really, up there, you prepare him the way he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be prepared. There's so many people kasi na, ewan ko lang, no names, of course, no names. So there's so many people that say, kasi mayaman sila or may pera sila kaya sila nakakapag-jiu-jitsu, kaya nakakaganon. We have the PMMAF training. All of the people that won are going to be part of the Philippine team. We also told everybody there that even if you train in PMMAF, you have to go back and stay loyal to your schools because we have to help the industry as well. So yeah, that's an awesome comment. There are no shortcuts. Exactly. There's no shortcuts. So there.
And Chief, babalikan na. Those are very important details that we will recap and we will reiterate later. Okay. Another one is you tackled something that's very it's very sensitive and a lot of people don't want to discuss this. Tama yun eh. It's like a lot of people kasi are very apprehensive of losing students when they open up to cross training or to alam mo yun, there's always that fear kasi nga a lot for some coaches this is their livelihood. So maganda rin that you pointed out na ito yung rule set. Even during the and ako I'm a witness, this was the initial plan. This is going to be the foundational. Feeling ko when you clear that out, tapos na yung usapan eh. Kasi bakit ba may fear na ganon? Because there are instances wherein this actually happened. Wherein a coach was just looking out for the welfare of their students. So sabi niya, sige, may matututunan ka niya. Then eventually, kung sino yung nagturo, biglang pinoach nila yung as in, nangyayari yan. As in, poaching is a real thing. Let's just get it out of the way. Diba? Let's just all agree na it happens. So it's either more often than not it's the coach's fault kasi sila yung sila yung nanunulot di ba? So na yun, malinaw na yun. Now, when it comes to the creation of PMMAF with the community in mind, what are the building blocks, Chief? What do you think should be the top priority, the progression and yung development of each fighter?
Okay, number one would be IMMAF has a set curriculum that every MMA fighter must know. They did it by ranks. So there's a certain skill set you have to have. They organized it that way already. So you know what kind of skills you have to build at this level, at this level, at this level. So that's a guide. Now, doesn't necessarily mean that's how you will fight, but you have to know this if you want to go higher. Diba? So the next one is constant competition. It has to be constant. We want our guys to have at least 20 to 30 fights before they turn pro. So from there, they can go anywhere after. Diba? Whether it's URCC or, the US right away or a different country, nandiyan na kagad, they're prepared. Hasang-hasa na sila. Hindi yung, wow, 1 or 2 fights tapos nagtaka ka pa kung ba't ka natalo, di ba?
Oo.
So, di ba? So,
nangala pa sa internationals.
Yes, exactly. Kasi, look, all the other countries have such a rich tradition in classic sports, in judo, in wrestling, and everything. And here we're just starting in that. So, they're really used to competition. So we have to bring that here, that everybody's always competing. And then the next one, we have to have the culture of everybody is constantly learning, from the students to the coaches especially. Kasi sila yung foundation dito eh. So if the coaches don't provide, kawawa yung mga bata nila. Hindi mo pwede daan sa pagbobola yan lagi. Diba? And remember guys, YouTube is only a guide. That's not the set, that's not the set curriculum. Hindi pwedeng, nanood na ako nito, alam ko yan. Hindi. You have to learn it from real people, feel the techniques for real, understand why it works, not just how it works. And like I said, there's no such thing as a YouTube black belt.
Yes. Yes. I mean, this is something that I emphasize as well. And I always tell people, yeah, this is what I learned from Alvin, from Pichon, from Richard, that yeah, it's but they're a guide. YouTube is a guide. Okay, YouTube is a guide. So ano siya tawag dito, hindi siya papakita niya lang sa iyo kung ano yung end result. They're not gonna show you how you got there. They're not gonna show you the entire feeling. They're not gonna break down the nuances of each technique. So maganda siya, 'di ba? Maganda siyang talking points, pero 'di ba, you still need your coaches, you still need your structure, you still need your teammates, 'di ba, to improve. So from coming from like sige, backtrack tayong konti, Cheap. So with the Olympics in mind, 'di ba? How was communicating and establishing relationships with IMMAF? How was the process? How did you go about it?
Well, what's this, when we had the URCC, what do you call that, Hall of Fame Awards, we invited President Gareth Brown here. Now he's gotten into some glitches here, getting recognized. I think the GAISF did not approve them, in spite of them having more than enough qualifications, and they even made the competitions safer than traditional martial arts. So if you notice in our format for the kids, what do you call it? There's no punches to the face. When you're on the ground, there's also no punches to the face. There's so many things that they did that made it so safe and so sanitized that there's absolutely no reason not to get it in. But the thing is, a lot of the traditional sports are insecure, and they're scared that once MMA comes in, the light's not going to be shining on them anymore. And that
That's true.
shouldn't be the case. Even everybody said that when MMA becomes mainstream, karate and taekwondo will die. You know what? The taekwondo guys in the US make more money than the jiu-jitsu guys, even
Yes,
until this
that's
day.
true.
Yeah.
Oo,
Yeah.
totoo yan,
Yes.
Even to this
Totoo
day.
yan.
So,
Diba?
it doesn't, di ba, iba-ibang, those are different branches of martial arts. It shouldn't be na just because nandito to, wala na to. So, ang problem is, there's a lot of people there who approve this, who don't have the best interest of everybody at heart. They just have their own. So, it happens. It happens here also in our sports programs here. But it's up to us to just make sure we just keep plodding along and do what we can.
Yeah. JC, do you have any questions about yung sa IMMAF na processing?
Oh yeah. About this one, kasi it's good na now we have this system na of MMA in the Philippines. Ito nga sa PMMAF and sa IMMAF. I remember 2 decades ago, lalo na early days, pre-YouTube pa, people would buy VHS, CDs from somewhere, panonoorin. They coach their students, they'd say they know MMA. Hanggang ngayon, actually, mga ganun, I believe so. Which is unfortunate kasi all the schools are available na. Even kahit ngayon na pandemic, and there are online classes na, at least they can learn stuff like even in jiu-jitsu, like online classes ng DefTac and other teams na may jiu-jitsu classes, and sa WAP na may online classes. What do you think of these coaches na hanggang ngayon, parang medyo rinky-dinky coaches pa rin sila in the day and age of earlier access to these other martial arts within the MMA realm?
Yeah, what I think about these coaches is, I think it's a matter of pride. In these kind of things that, like what they say, your ego is always your enemy. That's true, but it can also It can also help you to become better. But then, most of the time, when you have the ego, it really, really destroys everything. Now you're scared to learn more. You're scared to be in an uncomfortable situation. Siyempre, boss-boss ka sa school mo, ikaw yung tinitingala, tapos when you go to wrestling, ginugulpi ka lang, di ba? I mean, these are the things. So, and also the coaches, you have to remember, you're there to be a guide and to be the best guide and teacher to all of your students. You're not there for them. These people aren't your ATM machine, and these people aren't your your semi slaves, diba? A wise man once told me that martial artists have the biggest egos, but the brokest motherfuckers ever.
Yeah, that's
so,
true. Pero iba
so
naman talaga nung ginawang negosyo, grabe naman talaga yung pagkanegosyo. Grabe naman
Oo.
talaga, kailangan may balance, dapat talaga may balance,
uh, I
Then,
mean, okay naman, you really have to make money kasi, talaga ngayon. But, I'm not at the point na nagaling YouTube. Dapat yung student mo na
totoo yan. Now, pagdating natin to the creation of PMMAF. So the PMMAF is the Philippine MMA Federation. Right off the bat, we are going to clear everything out. If you have your questions, put them in the comment section. First things first, we had this conversation, the committee, and this was spearheaded by Alvin. He said, it's time to open the gates. When he said it's time to open the gates, we go like, okay, sigurado ka, ah? So okay ka na doon. Sabi niya, yeah. So, I mean, can you describe yung conversation na yun, Chief? Like, this just happened, like, before we announced the creation of PMMAF. You wanted to open the gates in the sense na, okay, now if people want to train with us, they can train with us.
Okay, so for the longest time, because of the martial arts history of MMA here, we were always training not to fight in the cage. We were training just not to fight them in the cage, but on the street as well. So we kept all of our techniques pretty much to ourselves. We trained among ourselves. We kept it there. Now, we have to think bigger. We're doing this for the country now. Okay, so you have your own teams. That's fine. But when we compete in IMMAF tournaments, we will be competing as one country. So we all have to push each other. We have to be there to push each other to become better. So we told everybody that we have to share as much as we can and open up as much as we can. Because if we don't, diba? Paano na? Now it's not just us who are going to be opening up. A lot of other people are helping out as well. So this is something people were surprised at, that we have to open up. And okay lang, because of course, when we do jiu-jitsu tournaments, we keep our techniques and our stuff to ourselves because we compete against the other guys. But in MMA, it's different. MMA, usually when you see them compete, they're fighting not just for their team, but it's for the country now. So kailangan all out tayo. And it's our responsibility. We were given all of we were fortunate to be able to be trained by the best in the world. We were given these beautiful techniques. We had access to all of this. Now, we already had our heyday. We already had our stuff. So now it's time now to make sure that we use whatever we have to elevate everything and all the MMA skills here in our country.
So that is an official statement, everyone. If you want to screen grab this, if you want to share it, go ahead. Okay, malinaw na yan, ha. Ako personally, para matapos na yung usapan. Okay? Para sa akin, para matapos na yung usapan. Kasi ang daming nagsasabi ng kung ano-ano. Sinasabi ko, dude, ito yun, ha. Ayan, ha, naka-live tayo, lagi ko sinasabi to. Hindi kami mag-cross-train, hindi kami pwedeng mag-cross-train with other people. But Alvin never, ever turned down anybody who wanted to cross-train with us. Magkaiba yun.
True.
Magkaiba yun, okay?
So many people cross-train with us. So many people.
Without naming names, okay, there are so many from jiu-jitsu to MMA that cross-trained with us. Alvin closed the gym. Okay? He closed the gym so that nobody will know. So that, di ba, kung meron walang magli-leak, di ba? Hanggang ngayon, di ba? It's like, maraming nagko-cross-train sa amin. All they had to do was ask. So now, on Combat Sports Weekly, Alvin just stated, the gates are open. All you have to do is be a member of PMMAF. Okay? Be a member of PMMAF. Affiliate your gym Number one rule lang naman dyan lagi, you are not going to leave your gym. Okay? As
Yeah,
he
you have to
stated
stay in your gym. Yeah,
previously, you
walang lilipat sa amin or
walang
whatever.
lilipat,
Sabi na.
walang agawan. Okay? You remain loyal to your gym, you remain loyal to your coach and your teammates. Walang sulutan na mangyayari. So, after that, there will be schedules of seminars and coaching and training. You can all join that. Ganun ka simple. Okay? So, please, this is an initiative. Okay, nobody, I mean, this is a personal question na hindi ko pala natanong sa'yo nung nag-uusap tayo, pero pag-usapan na natin yan. Bakit bigla mong naisip gawin to? Like,
Um,
'di ba? Kasi for the longest time, we've all been training together. We've been helping champions, 'di ba? There's Richard, there's Hoffman, there's a string of previous champions who are now doing their own paths. They build their own gyms. They're practically using the same curriculum. But now you're more open to this, 'di ba? You just, 'di ba? You're thinking about legacy. So what prompted you to do this right now?
well, there's a saying that you're only made strong for a certain time, so you can help everybody else around you. So why was this given to us, diba? I think because we are now the affiliate of IMMAF, we have a bigger responsibility now. It's not just about team; it's about country.
Mhm.
So if we don't make this work, diba, it's up to us, diba?
Mhm. And then you are utilizing all resources. As in,
Mhm.
when you started this, we were all on board. We just said, okay, game, let's do this. Diba? And then being the president of wrestling, and you want to, I mean, let's shift a little to wrestling. Like, I personally saw the improvements of WAP, the team, diba? Uh, how can we, are there other projects or are there upcoming projects that will push wrestling more? Kasi ako, I want people to appreciate wrestling more eh. Kasi
Mhm.
how important is wrestling in MMA?
Yes, it's like it's all it is basically. Because if you know how to wrestle, you can keep the fight standing or on the ground. And if you don't know wrestling, then you better hope to God that the guy doesn't go near you. Because once a wrestler does, you're gonna go flying.
Mm.
So, ayun pa, di ba? For wrestling, we've gone through a lot of hard times. We had two of the most corrupt and shittiest presidents ever. One even molested other people. The other
Yeah.
one stole
Hassle
money
nun?
and
Ang
everything, di ba?
hassle nun?
Imagine, I mean, these people thought that they were there to enrich themselves. It was very, very hard, and there's a lot of wasted talent. The programs were also wasted. We had to kick everybody out, and then of course we had to come up with a system that hindi lang tayo pang SEA Games. I mean, we're for the world, and then a lot of people was like, hindi, hanggang dito lang tayo. Ako hindi. We have to be playing for the world. So for that to happen, we have to have our juniors and our cadets and a big volume of them actually just to be able to make the junior and cadet team. And then from there, when they're there, kailangan lumalaban na sila sa World Championships, Asian Championships, and everything. Now, unfortunately, the PSC does not support yung mga bata. They only support yung mga seniors. It's not their fault. It's just that's how it is. Okay,
Mhm.
so we have to be able to raise funds on our own, just like what we did for our junior and cadet team. We
Yep.
brought all of them to Russia. Diba, grabe yung talagang we had to raise money, talagang naglimos kami just to for able to, para makapunta sila. So we have to do that, and then yun, I guarantee you we're gonna get an Olympic gold in wrestling. Ako na bahala doon. There's some people who are also helping me, have committed themselves, and we have a lot of good athletes. They just needed the proper exposure, and I'm going to do everything in my power possible to give it to them. And at the same time, we're building our grassroots. We have so many types with the LGUs. We're going to be revealing a lot of that very soon. And I have one more surprise that you'll be seeing in the next few months, but I only announce that after when it's there.
Okay.
I'm very excited for that also. But then when these things happen, wrestling has to come up, and wrestling is a sport that you don't need much. You just need your skills. You don't have to be tall. You don't have to jump high. All you need is heart, and
Mm.
that's it.
Because training will be provided for you. As in
Yes.
training. Follow-up question, Chief. How good are our wrestlers? How good are they?
we have our wrestlers are very very good. I'll give you an example. I always get my ass kicked in WAP. Always, always. I don't care. I'm there to learn. Learn more and everything. But then when I go roll with the other world champions, in the U.S. and everything, I throw them. I pick them up and throw them. That's how good they are, and they're the ones kicking my ass. We've had guys who for example, we had Margarito Angana, for example, no?
Yes.
SEA Games gold medalist, really, really good guy. We sent him to Bulgaria. In Bulgaria, he was already beating the world champion, just destroying him. But they decided to mess with him. They made him fight someone who's bigger than a world champion. He popped him on his neck. So, messed up his neck, but now he's coming back. We have Jason Baucus. If you saw him against Vietnam in the SEA Games, grabe siya. He was really, really good there. We have a kid. We have a kid now that is undefeated as a junior. And then when he was a junior, we made him fight as a cadet, and he was still undefeated. He went to the States and fought there, and then he still beat everybody. So this guy has now been accepted in the Olympic Solidarity Program. His name is Alvin Aguilar. Watch out for him. His name will be a household name as long as he keeps training and does well. This also only happened also because of the President Kong Bumble, who hooked him up, put him in the Olympic Solidarity Program, and watch out for this guy.
And then afterwards, before JC asks his question, I think this is another thing that people should know and learn. Bakit ba merong magandang talent, maganda yung potential, tapos biglang nawawala?
Okay, perfect question. Okay, number one is our environment. Okay. After Hidilyn Diaz won gold and got all the millions and everybody else, I got so many messages. Uy, gawin natin Olympian yung anak ko. Let's make it ganon. Okay. Number one, it's not like that. Okay, it has to come from from the heart of the person doing it. You can't force someone to be an Olympian in any sport. That's ridiculous. So it's the culture. So number two, our culture here is not meant for giving champions. Our culture here is, unfortunately, if you hang around with, most people here, it will just make you a loser. Everybody will say, wag ka dyan, walang mangyayari dyan, the parents will say, just get a job. I had so many good people. Recently, there's a kid who was beating everybody. All of a sudden, he stopped training. Why? Because his mom told him that has no future there. They made him work sa tindahan nila. So wala. I mean, it's the culture, it's the support, and also it's the parents. Okay, so parents, you guys are the ones that can make or break your children. I've seen so many parents destroy their kids. One, by not letting them train. Second, when they are training, sila yung parang instructor, sila yung nagtuturo sa bata kung anong gagawin. Wow. So, and aside from the parent, and the last one, of course, is the support, the monetary support. So that's my job. So I do everything I can to send them and everything, no matter what happens. But one of the main reasons why is the culture and the family. The culture and the family. Kasi aminin natin, sobrang tamad ng Pinoy. Sobrang tamad. The fuck. Get off your fucking asses, bitch. I mean, they always have an excuse, diba? When I went to the Olympics, I went there early for the finals.
Oh, ayan, nag-agree sa'yo si Derek, oh.
Thank you, Derek. I was there. Yung laban ng US was at 7, ha? Dumating yung guy, 3 p.m., 3 p.m. hanggang 7 p.m. nagwa-warm up siya. Karon yung mga yon. I mean, another thing. I'll give you one more story. When we went to Singapore years ago, the Vietnam women's team won everything sa wrestling. As in, walang hindi nag-champion. The next day was the males. Ang ginawa nila, so of course, all of the other countries, yung mga female team nila, sa Singapore, nag-shopping. Ang ginawa ng women's Vietnam team, they were on the mats after winning overall winning gold the day before, they were on the mats the next day at 9 a.m. training pa rin. Ganun dapat. You know, I only saw that with one athlete pala here. Also, so, you know, Yuka Saso. Have you guys heard of her?
Yeah, Yuka. Yeah, the
She's
golfer.
just really good
Yeah.
golfer. I watched the Olympics.
Yeah.
So after the Olympics, tapos na yung Olympics, diba? She just, diba, that's parang 18 holes yan. Sobrang haba kasi sobrang init. I don't remember anymore. Ang init. So all of the other players went inside, you know, to get, you know, refreshments, to eat lunch, reporters, ganyan. You know what she did? She went straight to the green and she practiced her game. Ganon. That's what it takes. So we have to have that kind of culture. Unless we have that kind of culture, I know. And that kind of culture has to happen from the coaches, the family, and the athlete himself or
That is
herself.
true. 100%. JC.
Yeah. So it's really something that we need to build from the grassroots. Speaking of grassroots programs in wrestling and in MMA with PMMAF, are there any plans na kasi in the West, even in some South, even in other Asian countries, as early as grade school, may mga wrestling programs na sila. Sa atin, we only usually start pagdating na sa college. So, paano pa yung pag-build ng skill level ng athletes natin wouldn't be as deep as sa ibang bansa. In this case though, sa atin, what are your future plans to get that done? Possible ba na we can have wrestling as early as grade school in the Philippines?
Well, okay.
And even
That's
MMA?
our problem here. That's our problem here. Kasi sa youth, like nationwide tournaments,
Mm.
usually ang ginagawa ng mga tao dyan is they rely on their LGUs. Tapos, ang hassle pa doon, the LGU gives them money, kinukurakot nila, doesn't even go to the kids or whatever, di ba? That always happens a lot. There's so many tournaments here na nangyari yan. So, doon parang kinakatay na sila. The solution there is for us, like an NSA, is to keep doing as many tournaments as possible and make it as popular as possible to draw everybody out para dun sila pumunta. And then, that's just the first part. The second part has to be able to get everybody to train together, no, to work together, to attend seminars. Ang nangyayari kasi, for example, you get someone from, I won't say the areas, like I say, okay, we're doing a free seminar, please go here. Eh, wala kaming pamasahe. Okay. So, diba, yung mga ganon. And then sometimes the coaches will just get pamasahe, pero sa totoo, may pamasahe naman talaga na binigay sa kanila. So, we have to, you know, it's so many bad things that we have to deal with. But in the end, you know, as long as we just keep pushing and pushing, and we're going to do it by regions, we have Luzon, the Visayas, and the Mindanao. We have our own programs there. We're just waiting for the IATF to get off their asses and stop fucking sports over here in our country. So, what do you call that? Grabe nangyayari sa atin. I mean, it's not just, you know, the industries here that are suffering. It's also sports. And, you know, you can't say that, you know, it's a super spreader event. Ano diferensya natin sa ibang bansa, di ba? Bakit sila okay?
Yun nga yung ano eh. Minention ka, nag-post nga ako niyan kanina eh. So sabi ko, so pag may caravan, okay lang, hindi siya spreader event. So pag may campaign rally, hindi siya super spreader event.
Hindi super spreader 'yan.
Hindi pagka magrarally ka sa harap ng school mo, sisigaw ka ng FU Marcos, hindi super spreader event 'yon. Hindi. Sabi ko, ang labo nilang lahat. Okay? Di ba? Ang labo. Kayong lahat. Okay? Nilalahat na natin. Lahat. Ang labo eh. Ako hindi ko mag-gets eh. Di ba? Binuksan yung Dolomite Beach. There are thousands of people there. Hindi siya spreader. I don't get it. Okay. Let's talk to our community first, Chief.
Malabo talaga.
I'd like to ask on behalf of those aspiring MMA Pinoys. This is Papi Dynamite, one of our avid community members. How can they be part of your team, and what are the things, and if you have any tips for those who truly wants to pursue MMA? Ayun, most gyms daw kasi, ayan, pinag-uusapan lang natin to. Our personal fitness muna due to the pandemic. Close pa ang ibang events. So, what can other people do right now? Kasi nga, movement is limited. And at the same time, how to become an affiliate of PMAF.
Okay. Everything will be posted on our Facebook page, all the details, and then all the requirements. It's not much. You just need it's basically a general information sheet. Now, if you want to be really an MMA fighter, first off, you have to be prepared in your life to make a lot of sacrifices. That's a lot of sacrifices. It's very, very hard. So, take it little by little first, and see how it goes. And then that's from there. That's when you decide how far you want to take it. Um, there's so many people that like went through a lot. For example, Conor McGregor, he was on food stamps before,
Mhm.
diba? His wife was just there supporting him and everything. He married a good woman, and then he happened to market himself in an awesome way, and then look at him now. But that doesn't happen for everyone. Even there's a lot of people more talented than him, but they just don't talk the way he does. So it depends also. MMA is a very, very tricky world. You can be the best fighter, but not the highest paid.
Oh, yeah.
So, uh, no, MMA is
At least,
very, very, very hard. So take it slowly first, and then you see how it is before
ayan, ito, may question. One of our favorite directors in the industry, Direct Bing Bassett. Follow his page. A lot of really good motorcycle articles and photos. Ang
Oh,
ganda. Alvin, do you think our athletes should have psychological training?
ganda ng
At what
question.
age should it be done?
Okay.
Kasi I think
They
that was
actually
one of the
did a lot of
secrets ng
that.
ng Olympic team natin.
So they actually started doing that in PSC for a time, but then the other athletes, they found it annoying. It's like, why? So okay, the psychological training starts with mental affirmations. Okay, you don't know this, but there's a lot of mental affirmations that we give our players, our students, even when they're fighting. For example, Franco's fighting with the guy. Franco, you
Yeah.
can pass him. The guy's tired already. But I say that so I can get in the other guy's head. And the guy's like, oh nga, parang I'm tired already. And later you see Franco smashing him already. I mean, no, mental affirmations are always the best. That's why it comes back to culture also. Psychological training is always a must. Okay. But if you don't have a psychological, what do you call it? An actual expert with you, mental affirmations and the culture are enough. You have to have a lot of people, who are winners and people who are on the same mission as you. Kasi ang hassle lang is, you may be five good guys, but then out of the five, there's one person there that secretly wants you to fail. So, yun ang hassle. Everybody has to be on the same wavelength, the same goal. Okay? If that one person can do everything, to just little thing he can sink the whole ship. People think Americans are arrogant. They're just fucking confident. Exactly. That's true.
That's
Sometimes
true.
they're too confident, right?
Too confident. Too
Hey, what up,
confident.
guys?
Yeah, open your eyes. Okay, we would like to teka lang, Abs, tayo, maglagay ka rin ng list mo. Meron kaming shoutout portion kasi of course we want to recognize the people in our community. So far, everyone's been very interactive. They're listening, they appreciate. Thank you, Papi Dynamite. Joaquin Marte, si Joaquin Chief, hindi nagte-training si Joaquin, nanonood.
Yeah.
Yes, grabe yan.
I heard that Joaquin is trying to date someone now.
Ay, oo, nako.
Not good, not
Nako,
good.
ano yan? Nako. Ano yan? Narinig ko rin yan. Team Montales, thank you so much. Pit, we'll try to get Pit Laurente on the show as well later. Eric Abisamis, Jay Cristan, Florence Eusebio, si Coach, si Referee Florence, Jay Emano, Carla Kangleon. Wow, Carla, thank you for watching. Jerby Kesent, Jude Velasco. Of course, thank you so much to the people of PMMAF, the organizers. Major shout out to Coach Lester Del Rosario and his team for making all of this happen. For me, thank you so much, Happy Coffee PH, for keeping me hydrated during all my endeavors, all my events, all my training
Yeah.
sessions. So when you go to Happy Coffee PH, I always order yung turmeric calamansi nila. It started with the 350, then I graduated to 500. Now, every time I get it, it's always the 1 liter. Yan, sa hood ni JC yan. Sa hood ni JC yan. Happy Coffee PH. I always get the 1
Yeah.
liter. Ang sarap. Ang sarap.
Malaki na.
Another one is High Rollers Lifestyle. High Rollers
And
Lifestyle. Follow.
let's not forget
Yan.
si
tawag dito. So High Rollers is on Facebook
si
and
Alain Lim
Instagram.
pala of Anitoshi.
Yan, si Alain Lim. What's up, Alain Lim? Chief, ito, okay to, pangkalya taktiko to. Merong product line si Anitoshi na anti-theft bag.
Anti-death?
So, anti-theft. Anti-theft.
Okay.
So, yung material niya makapal, di ba? Anti-theft. So, anti-theft. So, maganda yung may mga tweaks and security features yung bag. So, ano siya, medyo mahirap ma-slash, mahirap manakawan. Pretty good lineup. So it's one of their unisex na bags, pero majority of them really good designs for girls. And then Chief, ito pala, pagchikahan natin to. Si Adar pala nasa PBB.
Yeah.
Oo nga.
As much as I wanted to have so many URCC fights, we can't. We just can't, diba? So I'm glad that he has something to do with the meantime. My gosh.
PBB, magiging artista na to si Johnny Boy.
He comes from a political family. His sister is a very, very good public servant, the number one counselor there in her area. And, you should see what she's done. Her heart is talagang for her place. I'm not just saying that because they're my friends or whatever. No, you should really see it for yourself, what she's done. And I'm sure John Adahar, when it's his time, to run, if he does, yung puso nila nandun, they will really do a good job.
Yes, and
real quick, Franco.
Go.
Just a while ago, we were saying about the parents, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know Joaquin was here. So Joaquin is an example. He's a champion in Taekwondo. He's an honor student. He's a grappling champion. Got 3rd place in the world recently. Every training session he's in, his father's there. His father's there supporting him, guiding him, advising him. So that's how important the family is. It's got to be a family thing. So look at how good Joaquin is doing, even in school. He's the head of the De La Salle grappling team. It's very he's doing an excellent job. It's because of his father being there and supporting him in every way. And after that, after all of this, he's also going to be a doctor like his father.
Yes. Pero may medic na kami.
Yeah.
Yung mga injury namin, si Joaquin na mag-aayos. JC, do you have any people in mind? Ako, kamusta yung signal ni JC? Okay, habang inaayos ni JC yung signal niya, the best political analyst in the business, so Ralph Rondosa, tawag dito, we're discussing about the political scene. We'll probably do a separate podcast for that. My batchmates from Lourdes Mandaluyong, major shout out to you all. Si Chief, eto, absent to, panay bike, si Mamoy, Moirine Espinosa, thank you for watching and listening. Ayan, ito mo yan, yan ang mga ano natin. Yan, naglalaglagan sila sa comment section ngayon.
He's the worst because kanya-kanya na.
Ayan, laglagan na po sa comment section, di ba? Maraming thank you so much for watching and listening. Okay, I just saw it on my Facebook. One of the best life guides that I had celebrated her 83rd birthday. My English teacher, Lucy De Villeres. I wanted to greet her. I mean, she's had so much impact on all of us when we were in high school. So now I'm so happy that she's alive and well. Happy birthday, ma'am. Nako, si JC. Ayan! Umayos na si JC. Teka, JC, can you hear us? Okay ka ba?
There you go.
Ayun, yan. Okay na. Nawala ako.
Tapos, ang tawag dito, yung landscape ngayon, ay, so we've tackled everything, and then we cleared everything. So please, I will just reiterate and I will remind everyone, okay? The gates are open. When you say the gates are open, as long as you're a PMAF member, you can train at the gym. You can train at any affiliate gym. You can be part of the seminars. You can be part of the sessions and the ano pa ba? We're gonna have programs for the athletes and the coaches, right, Chief? Diba?
Yes. And then we'll have promotions also, so we can make sure the standards is always there. Okay, but then of course that'll be done also with rev share to the coaches themselves also, so they get a rev share. What we're trying to do
Mm.
here in PMAF is make sure we're self-run. We don't rely on anybody else. We rely on our community. Because if we rely on other people, then our future will be depending on kung anong mood nila. Susuportan ba nila tayo o hindi? So ngayon pa lang, we have to make sure that we are self-supporting, and then at the same time, while self-supporting each other, we make sure we're improving and becoming better.
Then when it comes to these things, we discuss the realities of training, the realities of being an athlete. Ako, I'm telling you guys right now, I was training, I was competing out of my own pocket. A lot of people are super surprised that I had a day job. Diba? When I was starting, when I was training, as in hanggang ngayon, okay? So hindi, 'di ba? Stop with the excuses. 'Di ba? Ang dami ko I received so many messages of paano po ba maging fighter? Paano po ba maging ganito? Pwede ba maging ganyan? Ako, ginawa ko na lang dati, nag-ipon ako, so nagtrabaho ako, nag-ipon ako para meron akong pan-training. Nagmamakaawa pa ako kay Chief na sabi ko, Chief, I can't train ganyan-ganyan. So, ang sinabi lang niya, then train whenever you can, di ba? And then whenever you're in the gym, you maximize your time. And that's what I did. Then eventually, di ba, things start picking up, things started getting better for me. And now, di ba, 13 years after, black belt na, di ba? Sabi ko nga, Chief, sobrang lungkot nung ano na yun lungkot nung statistics na yun. There are 110 million Filipinos and there are less than 50 black belts in the country. Di ba? That's not that for some people it's para we're unicorns. For me, since I grew up in this culture ng DefTac, it's a sad number. So now it's all about growing that number. It's all about growing the community. It's how
we should have way more talaga. We should have way more.
Yeah. Diba? How about this, Chief? When it comes to ito pala, bago ko makalimutan, before we let you go, yung participation of the LGUs, this is something that was discussed during the formation of PMAF na they not only represent their gyms, but they also represent their cities, their municipalities, their LGUs. Diba? Is this correct?
Yes. If you notice in the ranking, it's always there was Marikina, there was Cavite, there's Muntinlupa. It's so the various LGUs are represented, not anymore the team. Of course, you know who your team is and everything, but it's good because if the LGUs are involved, then the LGUs might be able to actually support them as well. We just have to make sure that we open the avenue for everybody to be able to support.
Diba? And I think it's a good league. It's a good league to have na parang at least you rep your city. Diba? And then ito guys, I have matagal na namin pinagchichikahan to on pinag-uusapan to. We just imagine, okay, just for a second, close your eyes and imagine an MMA event na Ateneo Lasal.
Yeah.
Diba? Wala yun yung pinagtataka ko Bakit walang nakakaisip noon, diba? Diba? Kung talagang
no university challenge ba decades ago walang nangyaring Ateneo versus Lasal, no? Parang
wala. Puro Lasal lang yun nandun. Diba? Chief, ako mukhang nawala si Chief
Yeah.
Ayun, Chief, narinig mo ba yan? Sabi kasi ni JC, yung Unib Challenge, sabi ko, oo, puro Lasalista lang yung sumali.
Actually, yung last Lasal versus Ateneo was outside the UAAP stadium before. Yung nakipagsuntukan kami sa mga tenista. That's about it. Pero wala pa.
Ayan, Diba? Ito yung...
And you know what's funny? All of those guys are all our friends now. We all laugh about it now.
Diba? Guys, ito lang yan.
Imagine
Isipin
fighting
nyo
over
lang.
basketball. What the hell?
Diba? Isipin nyo na lang. Isipin nyo na lang yon. Ateneo Lasal na MMA event. Diba? Gawa kayo na, di ba? Kung trash talkan lang at yung, di ba? Tapusin na natin yung mga ano. Akyat tayo sa cage, di ba? Talagang patunayan natin ngayon, di ba? So, JC, do you still have questions for Chief?
I'm good. Ganda.
Okay,
Dami
Chief,
na
thank you so
na
much
naman doon.
for joining the show. Before we let you go, any parting words, any type of recognition or people that you want to thank?
Well, well, first off, I'd like to thank everybody who worked in PMMAF, the organizers. You guys know who you are. I don't want to mention all the names. Thank you to all the clubs and the athletes that showed up. We're making one step to make our MMA programs here bigger and better for our country. And then, of course, for you guys, thank you for always, carrying on with these shows, Combat Sports Weekly, JC and Franco, keeping the movement and the, movement, significant and always there. So people always have something to talk about, because as long as you keep giving our sports exposure, that's what we need, because we have no one else to rely on except people like you guys, taking upon yourselves to do this. And thank you very much for that.
And thank you, Chief, for making this happen. Thank you for having the vision. Thank you for, it starts with, this is something I learned from you. Parang blue belt pa lang ako noon. Pero it starts with one. It starts with one victory. It starts with one submission. It starts with one knockout. It starts with one, then you build enough momentum. It snowballs, diba? So hopefully this is going to be, there's going to be challenges ahead. Sobrang dami to for sure. Pero I really believe in the community. We really believe in the cause. And again, thank you for doing this. Thank you for being on the show. Alvin Aguilar, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Chief,
Thank you very
bye-bye.
much,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Thank you.
And guys, meron pa tayong tawag dito. Meron tayong may ano to tawag ito, maganda yung discussion Maganda yung discussion. Tapos nagkataon lang hinihintay natin kung makakasama yung kaibigan natin dito. But thank you Direk Bing Bassett. Thank you Moririn. Ayan, that's my boy right there, Ralph Rondosa. And of course, we have a special guest. As in special guest to. Okay? Coming off his TKO victory, we got Christian Pit Laurente, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Pit?
Hello po.
Yes.
Magandang gabi po sa inyo. Hello po.
Ayan,
Kamusta, Pit?
Magandang gabi po.
Yeah. JC and bagong medyo nire-recruit namin sa Titos of Fighting si Pit Laurente, pero dahil kailangan mo na niyang i-prioritize ang kanyang boxing career. So kamusta yung di ba Jerry Pence Promotions to?
Yes po, yes
So
po.
kamusta yung camp? Kamusta yung camp leading to the fight? Kamusta yung preparations?
Ayos naman po. Medyo may struggle konti kasi 3 weeks before the fight, nagkaroon ako ng injury last sparring ko po. So 3 weeks ko rin hindi sinusuntok. First time kong sinuntok nung laban na, yung actual fight na.
Medyo di halata.
Oh, yes po. Pinilit ko lang talaga
Oo nga.
tapos lang talaga yung laban. Kaya parang sayang din po kasi na pag umatras ako, sayang yung preparation ko.
So JC, do you have a question? Natin? May naayos lang ako dito.
Paano mo na-overcome yung injury niya? 3 weeks mo in that. Pagdating na nalaban na KO pa ka lang mo, di ba? 5 years lang na KO yun.
Excuse me po. So, ano po ulit yan?
Paano mo na-overcome? Di ba galing ka sa injury? So 3 weeks kang walang ensayo sa pagsuntok nung pagdating na nalaban, TKO pa yung panalo mo. Paano mong na-overcome yun? Paano mong nakuha yun?
Paano po?
Hindi, paano mo na-overcome yung injury na yun? Paano mo na-overcome?
Okay po. May before the fight, 1 hour before the fight, may ininom po akong gamot para kahit konti ma-lessen yung pain. Pero syempre andun pa rin, hindi mawawala. Tapos hindi ko lang masyado inisip yung sakit. Parang mas nag-focus na lang ako kung anong gagawin ko. kung paano ako manalo, ganun. Parang iniisip ko na wala akong sakit na hininda.
Kasi most fighters ngayon, I mean, before the pandemic, nagiging trend 'yan eh, 'di ba? Nagkasakit lang ng konti, meron lang
Atras na.
naipit, meron lang umaatras na, 'di ba?
Yes
Pero
po.
when it comes to these things, ano bang tumatakbo sa isip mo na pagdating dun sa moment na yun, like for example, you're in training, binato mo, tapos sumakit, 'di ba? Binato mo,
Opo.
sumakit. Ano yung process na nangyayari sa utak mo na, "Ano ba 'to? Mag-e-excuse na lang ba ako? Ititigil ko na, sasabihin ko out na ako or hindi, itutuloy ko 'to no matter what happens?"
Ano po, hindi talaga pumasok sa isip ko na hihinto ako kasi kahit hindi pa nagsimula yung laban. Kasi parang inisip ko lang talaga na na hindi kaya, parang inisip ko hindi kaya ko to, kaya ko to. Kaya ko to, sabi ko. Yun lang yung inisip ko lang po na di bali ng sobrang sakit pagkatapos ng laban. Basta lang, patuloy lang talaga kasi baka magsisi ako kung magi-give up ako.
Ayun, tama, tama. And then coming to the fight, I was able to watch the fight and there are a lot of improvements. 'Di ba? A lot of improvements especially when it comes to your pacing. Kasi if we compare it dun sa previous fight mo, masyado maraming gigil na suntok. Kahit nung nag-uusap tayo, 'di ba? Nag-share tayo ng sinasabi ko medyo marami kang gigil na suntok doon. Pero on this one, mas crispy yung jabs, mas calculated yung straights, hindi ka nagmadali doon sa mga combinations mo, 'di ba? Mas naging patient ka. Ano yung naging preparation mo during camp para maayos mo yung habits na 'yon, tapos maganda yung execution mo come fight day?
Pinapanood ko po lagi yung mga previous fights ko, tapos pinag-aaralan namin lagi ni Papa yung yung mga kulang ko, mga dapat hindi gawin, lalo na sa sparring. Kasi yung mga ka-sparring ko din, mga magagaling, mga bigger than me, yung mga ka-sparring ko. Kaya parang parang inisip ko na na parang relax lang kasi mga veterano din kasi yung mga ka-sparring ko. Parang nakuha ko rin yung style nila kung paano maging patient sa taas ng ring.
Tapos pagdating dun sa actual na laban, 'di ba? There were instances wherein nakukuha mo siya sa jabs. The jabs were a lot better on this one. And then you were going for the head, lumulusot naman. Tapos bigla kang pumunta sa katawan. Ano yung instance during the fight wherein napansin mo na parang, "Uy, medyo effective pag body shot ako ng body shot ah."
Sa totoo lang, si Sanchez kasi sparring partner ko before, kaya parang basa ko na yung galaw niya. Parang hindi na bago sa akin kung ano yung dapat kong gawin. Ayun po.
Ayun, I always ask high-level fighters this. At what point TKO mo siya by the 5th round, 'di ba?
Yes,
Tama
po.
ba? Fifth.
Yes po.
So, at what round or at what particular moment mo napansin na kuha mo na yung rhythm niya? Kuha mo na yung timing niya?
Pa lang po, second round pa lang po, alam ko na, kaso lang hindi ko kayang parang ilabas talaga yung lakas ko sa left hand ko kasi hindi kaya eh. Kasi pag pag nakababa na yung kamay niya sa tiyan niya, na-cover na siya, hindi ko kayang suntukin yung dito niya, baka kasi mas lalo sasakit pag dito ko siya ilusuntok sa skull. Kaya inaantay ko na naman na aakyat yung kamay niya, kaya doon body shot yung
Body shot. JC.
Yes po.
So, moving forward, meron ka na bang, fresh off the fight pa, pero I'm sure bigyan ka na maghanap ulit ng next na laban mo eh. Meron na bang abang na,
next fight?
Na offers for another fight?
Yes po.
Hindi pa nang pinag-uusapan?
Actually po, after po ng laban ko, nag-message kaagad si Sir Jerry Peñalosa, sabi niya, congrats, maganda rin yung pinakita ko. Tapos sabi niya, plano niya, December championship belt na, championship fight. Tapos, ayun, sabi ko baka hindi pa kaya. Kasi parang kailangan ko ng recovery sa katawan ko. Kaya yun po, parang naintindihan niya rin naman po. Pero ayun po, parang na eh. Parang secured na yung championship fight sa next.
That's good. That's good. And very smart move kasi number
Oo,
one,
oo.
kakalaban mo lang. If you
Oo
go
nga.
take a December fight, hindi pa recovered yung katawan mo,
Mm.
sasaba ka kagad sa panibagong camp, may hirapan yung, parang mabibigla yung katawan mo pag ganyan. So for future
Kasi
fighters,
walang buti sana kung diretso laban, syempre may preparation yan pag mag-sparring
oo.
ka. Paano pag hindi
Oo.
pa kaya
Oo.
ng kamay ko.
Diba? Tama yan So, for fighters now
Mm.
and yung mga gusto maging boksingero, kailangan i-pace nyo yung sarili nyo. Walang masama na gusto nyo kumuha ng opportunity. Pero kung ma-i-injure lang din kayo na mas matagal or hindi kayo makaka-recover, i-pacing nyo rin yan. Ikaw, in your division, Pit, meron ka bang listahan ng mga gustong makalaban?
Depende pa rin po talaga sa promoter ko kung sino yung yung sasabihin yung ibibigay niya sa akin na kalaban. Ayun po. Ready naman po.
And Pit, this was a long camp. This was a good camp, good preparation. Please, this is your time. Sino mga gusto mong pasalamatan? We're live on Facebook and on YouTube. Please thank the people na gusto mong pasalamatan.
Kasi parang pasag po yung
Naririnig mo ba kami ngayon?
Yes po.
Ayan. So, I mean, we're live on Facebook and YouTube. Sino yung mga gusto mong pasalamatan?
Okay po. Una-una sa lahat, gusto kong pasalamatan of course, yung promoter ko na si Sir Jerry Peñalosa. Sobrang thankful ako na nagtiwala siya sa akin. Grabe yung tiwala niya sa akin na may maabot ako sa mundo ng boxing. Kaya grabe todo suporta siya sa akin. Yung papa ko na laging andyan sa training ko, sa pag-iensayo ko, na hindi nagsawang turuan ako lagi. Yung parents ko, yung mama ko, mga kapatid ko, at saka yung mga kaibigan ko, at saka yung mga sumusuporta pa lang. Yes po.
Tsaka ito yun very good example to That's why, maganda yung example na nasa probinsya, wala masyadong distraction, todo training. So pag todo training, maganda yung focus mo. So far, undefeated, Christian Pit Laurente, ladies and gentlemen. Pit, thank you so much.
Thank you po.
Salamat. Sa susunod na laban, nandun pa rin kami. We
sa
will
oras.
cover the show.
Tatanga mo pa ngayon
Oh, you're always welcome here.
Salamat po.
Tsaka regards kay Coach Titing.
Yes po.
Regards to the family. Congratulations, brother.
Thank you po. Bye-bye po.
Okay. At yung mga ganitong klaseng progress, JC, 'di ba? Nakakatuwa siya kasi nakikita mo na there are people like who's on your list of upcoming boxers that's worth watching.
Sa mga nakikita ko ngayon, ng mga up-and-comers, lalo na yung mga may reason to them would be Juan Miguel Elorde, yung
Ayan. Juan Miguel Elorde, just one.
Yes. Grabe. Alam ko, hindi ko sure. Hopefully, naka-recover na siya from yung dati niya pang fight against Emmanuel Navarrete. Na title fight sana dati yun. Everybody was hoping he would have won the fight. Kaya lang, syempre, it happens.
Yeah.
He didn't get the win, pero ang tagal niya hindi lumaban after nun, pagkakaalala ko. Ngayon, this is his fight after that loss. Kaya ang ganda nga nung what better way to break boxing back sa NCR o sa Metro Manila and have Elorde do it and gawan mo pa ng double championship event and with someone from the Elorde family have a comeback fight.
Ang ganda event na yun And then so again, major shout out to PMMAF. Elorde Promotions, the Johnny Elorde Promotions, si Jerry Pence
Yes.
Promotion, and then Kumbati, Omega Sports. Di ba tama? Si Kumbati, si Omega Sports, di ba?
Yeah.
Yan,
Kung
yan.
bati si Omega Boxing Promotions, yes.
Omega Boxing Promotions, di ba? Of course, the boxing
Yes.
community is alive and well. Hopefully,
Yes.
MMA will pick up. Things will get better. We'll get
Yes.
more
IATF,
events
ano.
coming in. Di ba? Ayan, tapos ito raw, interviewin daw natin si R.R. Andales from Naruto Pelonye.
Ah.
Di ba?
Hmm.
And then another avid viewer po namin, another avid fan of the show, the ultimate gamer, okay, yung online gamer po na medyo up and coming, si Akon Mojica. Yan, watch out, look for her channel. She's streaming and ako hindi kasi ako mag-gaming pero it's a totally different universe. Universe. Di namin kaya yan. Masyado kami maraming ginagawa. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
comments.
Yes.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram. JC and I are on Twitter. JC and I are on TikTok. We do fight breakdowns, bite-sized fight breakdowns. And we hope you like our content. Please let us know what you think. And we'll see you next week in another episode of Combat Sports Weekly. Bye-bye.
Yes.
What's up? Bye-bye.
Okay.